Hello everyone, welcome to another weekly outlook video. As usual, we're going to start with DXY. For those people who don't know, DXY is the dollar index. It's literally the dollar. So we have to do analysis on the DXY because DXY influences what the kind of price action we're likely to see with all major pairs. So pairs that have a direct positive correlation with DXY, which means they move together with the DXY. If the DXY is bullish, you also expect to see bullish price action. Then we have pairs that are negatively correlated with DXY, which means they move the opposite with DXY. If DXY is bullish, you should expect to see bearish moves in such kind of pairs. So let's see what DXY has for us this week. So as you can see, first of all, this is last week. You can see we closed the week as an inside bar candle. And I'm sure by now you know, anytime we have an inside bar candle, we normally don't get the best kind of price action in such weeks. You find that the week is choppy and we don't get very nice expansion. So that is what is expected anytime you have an inside week. Inside bar or inside week is when we do not take out previous week high, previous week low, as you can see right here. So personally for me, I make most of my money from the weekly range candle. I need the weekly candle to expand because that is how I'm able to make my 1:4, 1:5, 1:3 RR setup for the week. Okay, so far this is what we have. You can see this was an order block which was tagged, and then last week this is what we got. So let's look at the daily time frame. So if we look at the daily time frame, so first of all, we're going to see from right here, as you can see, this market is bullish. We actually grabbed some liquidity below here, and we've had this bullish price action. As you can see, we made a higher high, we retraced to an internal range liquidity, then we make a higher high, we retraced to an internal range liquidity, again higher high. So right now what happened, we retraced to an internal range liquidity. So this is our external range liquidity. Price normally moves from internal range liquidity to external range liquidity. This is clean bullish price action. So expecting after tagging this high probability, if you're still going to continue with more bullish moves, this is the target. So far on the daily time frame, when you're doing your analysis, you have to look for PD arrays. In this case, we have this PD array here. This is a fair value gap right here. So as you can see, price tagged this fair value gap on Friday and we got this kind of price action. So I'm expecting this is my high probability setup for the week. I'm anticipating that price will use this to get bullish moves, and I'm looking at this buy side liquidity and this buy side liquidity here. So let's look at USD CHF. So USD CHF and DXY are positively correlated. And as you can see, this week that just ended, we closed as an inside week. We did not take out previous week high, nor did we take out previous week low. So let's look at the daily time frame. So on the daily, as you can see, we have this fair value gap, which has not yet been violated by price. And we also have this tiny bullish fair value gap, which was tagged on Friday. So I want to see price use this to push price higher. First thing I want to see price violate this fair value gap, invert it, and then we use it for bullish moves. So let's look at GBP USD. So GBP USD is negatively correlated with DXY, and we'll start with the weekly time frame. As you can see, first of all, on the weekly, this is clearly it's bearish. We had this low, we had that retracement. So currently, at the moment, as you can see, it looks like what are we having? We're expecting a lower low. So if you're expecting a lower low, I'm looking at this external range liquidity. So as you can see, last week, this week that just ended, we closed as an inside week. We did not take out previous week high, nor did we take out previous week low. So you can see how DXY actually controls other major pairs. So again, the due to that, I'm sure you also noticed, price was really not giving us clean expansions, which is okay. That's the market. We don't have control over the market. The market will do whatever it wants, as we're just here to trade our plan. So if you look at the daily time frame, GBP USD, remember we marked this fair value gap last week, and we said that if we violate this, we're expecting to see bearish move, or either we use it to push price high. And as you can see, it was actually violated on Thursday. So this right here is an inversion fair value gap. This is no longer a fair value gap. So on Friday, as you can see, price tagged this inversion fair value gap, and this is the kind of price action we have. So I'm expecting that we're going to use this to get more bearish moves this week. So let's look at Euro USD. So Euro USD and DXY are negatively correlated. Euro USD and GBP USD are positively correlated. So as you can see, again, Euro USD we closed as an inside wick. We did not take out previous week high, nor did we take out previous week low. So let's see what the daily time frame has. Again, it's so clean, just as DXY and GBP USD. You can see making this lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and we had a retracement to this order block here and this gap, and now we have this bearish move. So you can clearly see how Euro USD and GBP USD is behaving the opposite of DXY. That is because they're negatively correlated. So here we have this, actually we inverted this fair value gap here. We did that on Tuesday, and you can see we retraced, we have tagged this inversion fair value gap. And I anticipate that we are going to use this inversion fair value gap to push price lower. So let's look at yen basket. So yen basket is literally the yen, and we analyze the yen because it is the yen. You need to analyze the yen basket if you trade JPY pairs like Euro JPY, GBP JPY, CAD JPY, or AUD JPY. So yen basket is negatively correlated with all the other JPY pairs that we are trading because yen is the second currency in the pair. Because remember, there's the base currency and the quote currency. So if you look at the weekly, as you can see, this is last week. We have a bearish move. We tagged this order block and we got this move. So let's look at the daily time frame. So if you look at the daily time frame, we had this fair value gap here. As you can see, actually we had a retracement. This is what we wanted to see. We want to see price tag this and we get a bearish move. As you can see, exactly that's what happened. We actually tagged this and we have this bearish move. So this coming week, this bearish move, we have this fair value gap here left behind by price, and this right here is an order block. So this is my key level this week. I want to see price use this to push price lower. So after price tags and internal range liquidity, you expect the next target is what? External range liquidity, which is right here. So I want to see price use this to push price lower. And remember, this order block is from here to here. All this is order block. So let's look at GBP JPY. So GBP JPY, I actually wanted to see us tag this gap here. As you can see, price failed to get this low. This is the lowest point we got, and finally we got this bullish move. So I'm expecting more bullish moves simply because, as you can see, the yen is weak. So because yen is weak, GBP JPY, I'm expecting we are likely, there's a high probability we're likely to continue with this move that just started. So if we look at right now, we do not have any PDRE here. This is the daily time frame, but we have this week here. So we can mark this week, and we might get a retracement to this week before we get our bullish continuation. And I'm watching this buy side liquidity, or price might fail to get here and we just get more bullish moves. So let's look at gold, starting with the weekly time frame. As you can see, last week we had this bearish move. We have slightly tagged this weekly fair value gap. So let's look at the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, as you can see, last week I told you guys either we're going to get bearish move to this fair value gap, or we continue the bullish move. But as you can see, that's what we did. We actually had that bearish move to this fair value gap here. So because gold is at all-time highs, I wouldn't be comfortable counter trending all this bullish move. So at this point here, um as price has already tagged this fair value gap, I'm expecting you're going to get bullish move. But first, I want to see price invert this. Once price inverts this fair value gap, then this is a good way. We should expect more bullish moves. Or price can use this fair value gap to push price lower, because even though we're at all-time highs, we have a lot of PDRAs that price has left behind. So the market can decide to correct and you have no control over it. So this right here is a very key or important point to watch this week for gold. So lastly, let's look at NAS 100. So NAS 100, we're going to start with the weekly time frame, and as you can see, we actually had this order block price tagged this weekly order block, and we got that bullish move. And of course, NAS 100 we're at all-time highs, so you wouldn't want to counter trend this. So on the daily time frame, we have this order block here. Is a daily order block, and we have this tiny gap here. This is a volume imbalance, this gap right there. So coming next week, if you're going to get a retracement, I'm watching this order block, this daily order block, and this gap as important region that the price might retrace to before we continue with the bullish move. So I honestly wouldn't want to counter trend this unless of course price violates our order block. If price violates this and we get a bearish candle body closure below these lows here, then at that point I might rethink of bearish moves. But as of now, this looks bullish, so I'll just work with this trend, which is literally bullish trend.
So that's all I prepared for this week. If you enjoyed this video, kindly give it a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, make sure you subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.